The 4 takes on the strategy of personalizing. Everything is personal. I take everything personally. For me, I live in this domain of money beliefs and sort of what is money? What's meaningful about money for me? How is it, what's authentic to me? What's my true voice? Who am I? So when I spend, I want to spend in a way that reflects me and my sense of myself and my identity. There's a lot of wanting to spend to show my identity. I want to create a world, my home should reflect me and the colors that resonate with me. You starting to get this feel of me? Yeah. So it's very like inward, it's very, there's a deep energy, a going deep energy, a wanting to be deep, a wanting to know oneself. It's that energy, that desire. Earning can often be amazing, right? When you find your authentic voice and you really go into that space, you're unique. You offer this amazing, new thing to the world. As an artist or as a musician or as a designer, you have this just really, authentic voice that calls to people. And that can be an unbelievable gift of the 4. On the other hand, sometimes 4s can have trouble activating around the domain of earning. So if they can't quite find what it is that really would express who they are, they sometimes can give up. Or they sometimes settle for something less than, feeling that they're going to express themselves in some other way, but not through the world of making money. And so maybe it's journal writing or writing a book or something private or a relationship, and it's that I express myself through some other means, but then I kind of give up. And you remember to go back to the withdrawn types overall. There's a not willing to play by the culture's rules. And in that way, they're not willing to play by the culture's rules. So culture might say, yeah, go get a job and do something productive. And 4s will say, well, no, not until I find my authentic voice. But, again, it can be troubling for a 4. Because a 4 living in this culture will often feel like they're already feeling that they're a little strange or odd or oddball. And now they're also not playing by the rules of money, and now it's starting to feel even worse. And it's like, I'll never be appreciated for my unique voice, and I'll never be able to be compensated appropriately. There is a feeling of that. And again, there's differences by instinct that create more nuances, but that's the overall feeling. So deeply, the fear is of being a nobody. Being not just a nobody. It's just the deep fear. And it's about my uniqueness. How I earn, how I spend, my beliefs. It's all about from within. When they invest, they want to do it uniquely. They want to buy, the Brazilian stock or the invest in certain kind of commodity that's hot but exotic. They don't like to do the standard S&P 500 mutual fund. That would be really distasteful for a 4. So it's so interesting. I thought even with investments they have to be unique. So unique investments. So they're willing to take risk isn't quite the same for a 4 as it is for say a 3. There's a kind of, but it's more important I do what's calling to me, not just what'll be successful. Risk management is perceived quite differently. So 4s don't really worry so much about the downside. There's a way in which they almost are comfortable playing in the world of misery. And I say this lovingly. But, they don't try so hard to not make it hard for themselves. And this is, it's an objective statement, I think. It's just, they don't avoid it, let's put it that way, right? They kind of welcome it. And then they get that there's benefits of welcoming suffering, pain, and trouble. But it's puzzling to the rest of us. So it's good for us to understand that there's that going on. And again, they're not willing to play by the standard rules, which is part of it. Because they're getting something completely different when they're going into the depth and the pain and the suffering and the troubles and the hard stuff, because creativity's coming through and a lot of other stuff's coming through, but it seems puzzling. I'll just say it that way. Don't avoid pain. doesn't avoid pain, I guess, doesn't avoid pain, which I thought was just, it's an interesting thing around money. Again, you go, well, why would you let yourself spend that much on a credit card? Oh, another thing I want to say about 4s before we move on is constraints. There's no feeling that they're constrained. It's, again, a magical thinking world. There's a line between 4 and 1s. Budgeting, what's that? I don't have to be held in. My beliefs and my vision and my imagination carries me everywhere. And the same goes with money. If I want it and there's a resonance, it's mine. You know, it's that feeling of, I can have what I want. It's that, well, what constraints would bound me? I don't get that. If I feel like it's for me, it's for me. And when they spend, they can get into credit card debt because they're feeling this magical thinking thing. So I just really want to write magical thinking.
Until it doesn't.
Until it hits, yeah, what you call it, what something hits the fan, right? It's like then all of a sudden they wake up and they go, oh my goodness, I now have $7,000 in credit card debt. What happened? How did I not pay attention for this long? What was going on that allowed this to happen? Now, it's not that the other types don't get into debt, because they do. Sexual A, can you imagine? I mean, it's, you know, I want what I want. But for the 4s, it's the kind of, but it's for me. It's calling to me. I must have it. It's more that, and there's a kind of indulgence, like, well, it's, you know, it's speaking to me.